The only thing Garfield hates more than Mondays is drunk drivers. And so do I. I think drinking and driving is the stupidest decision a human being can make. You endanger not only yourself, but every innocent person around you. It is just a completely inexcusable, unforgivable act. There's no justifying drinking and driving, especially in the current day and age where you have unlimited access to ride sharing. There just isn't an argument you can make to even remotely justify the act of drinking and driving. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because yesterday a very big Smash Bros. Melee player named Bobby Big Balls got banned. And saying it like that actually just made it sound like a Dr. Seuss book. Bobby Big Balls gets banned. No, I do not eat green eggs and ham. Like, that kind of goes hard. But he got banned because he streamed himself drinking while driving.
Couldn't be me, man. Hey, you know, my car's pretty old, but I ain't got no dents in this bitch. Yeah, you know the fucking vibe.
Mutahar just made a video covering this yesterday, and he actually blurred out this part where he drinks from the wine, saying that it can actually get you a community guideline strike because it's showcasing the crime itself. So I'm just going to play it safe and cut out the part where he actually drinks from it, but I'll show you when he finishes drinking from it, and then we'll talk about it.
I'm feeling like Michael Jackson, man. I'm feeling like the king of pop right now.
More like the king of poop, because this is some wild shit. Actually, the worst, dumbest joke I've ever made in my entire fucking life. But it popped into my noodle. I figured might as well let it rip with no shame. Bobby Big Balls drove himself to a 7-Eleven on stream. He got some wine, and he was feeling himself. The king of pop was in a flow state, so he ripped open that bottle of wine and took a big swig before continuing on his journey home. And it was not a long journey ahead of him. He was only like 3 or 6 minutes away from his house. So he flushed his entire career down the shitter because he couldn't wait just 6 minutes to drink. It's just bafflingly stupid. Now, this was a situation that had a lot of meat on its bones here, so there's a lot to really pick apart and digest. So before I do that, I want to just go ahead and quickly mention just one more time that tomorrow, September 8th, begins my first ever live event. It's a big party. We're going to be doing Q&A, meet and greet. We're also filming a music video with the audience and also doing a 1v1 Rocket League tournament with the audience, as well as a basketball trick-shotting championship where you'd win prizes as well as winning prizes in the Rocket League tournament. And most importantly, we're going to be watching and cheering for our esports Apex squad as they compete for the World Championship. So the doors open at 8 a.m. on Friday, Saturday, and then 11 a.m. on Sunday. But you don't have to get there at 8 a.m. A lot of people are asking that. You can kind of show up anytime within like 5 or 6 hours because that's about how long we'll be going each day. So you can show up anytime between like 8 and noon on whatever days you want to come. So there are still some tickets available, not many. Just really would love to see it fully filled, and it should be a lot of fun. It's at the Straz Center, so I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the description of this video if you want to get tickets. Now, he did post a few tweets that I'd like to go over, but before doing that, this became somewhat of a controversial topic where people were saying, like, it's only one sip, it's not like it got him hammered and he was already so close to home, what's the big deal? So what? And to that, I have to say, actual simpleton smooth brain take, so I'm going to go ahead and dumb this down so that way the glue snorting homunculi can understand. It doesn't matter if he was fucking plastered from a single sip. There is no excuse for drinking while operating a vehicle. Driving is the most dangerous activity that people engage in. Full stop. There is no reason to make it even more dangerous by adding alcohol into the mix. It endangers not only the person drinking, but every innocent person on the road around them. It is the most reckless decision you can ever make. And to top it all off in this case, all he had to do was wait 3 minutes so he could get home and then start just pounding his wine. There is no argument you can make for this not being a deserved ban. There were some alarming brain-dead locusts that kept offering the worst pseudo-intellectual takes on this situation, like, well, what's next? Are you going to start arresting people when they leave church after taking a sip from the wine? Huh? During Mass? What happened to freedom? That old thing America was built on? You can't just take a swig of wine while driving anymore? This is ridiculous. Just classic internet cancel culture. It's literally 1984. Can't drink and drive anymore. This country's in the tubes now. Despicable. It's just, oh, it's so painful reading that shit. Even something as cut and dry bad as drinking and driving is now leading to debate bros trying to get into the nitty gritty on why actually you're wrong for thinking that this is a bad thing, and here's why, with the worst takes and comparisons imaginable. Before he got banished to the Shadow Realm on Twitch, Bobby Big Balls did make a tweet in response to this starting to catch some steam and blow up a bit. He said, "Surely one singular sip of my 12% wine on my 3-minute drive home from 7-Eleven doesn't classify as drunk driving. As a streamer, I'm wrong and will take responsibility for my actions, and if the community wants to ban me, I will humbly oblige. I am not a role model. Please don't accept my internet personality as such. I stream to make people smile through entertainment. I am not meant to be a beacon of morals and values. I am just me. Drinking is a way I cope with life. You're welcome to judge me. This is just my truth, not an excuse. Thank you, anyone who still supports me." This all just feels like minimizing the severity of what he broadcast. Because he wasn't drunk, he doesn't view it as that big of an issue. Yeah, it technically broke a law, the open container law, but he just says that he's, wrong and will accept whatever comes his way. But that he's not a role model and not like the moral beacon of values. He's not, pinky out, super gentleman or anything. Thus, it's okay, is kind of the vibe that most people got from these tweets here. It's super weird here, the way that he frames this whole thing. Surely one sip from my 12% wine can't classify as drunk driving. But I'm not making excuses, even though he's immediately downplaying it. And then he goes in to say that drinking is a way that he copes with life. Which of course is awful. Alcoholism is a horrible thing, so if he's using alcohol to cope with things in his life, that is just terrible, and hopefully he gets help. But it's completely irrelevant to everything that happened here. I don't know why he'd even mention it, because it's not even in the same ballpark with what just unfolded. It's not like he needed to be drinking while operating a vehicle. He was 3 minutes from home. So even if he's using alcohol to cope with his life, it's not like that has to be done at the most inappropriate times and most dangerous times imaginable, behind the wheel of a fucking death machine. It's just, I don't know why he slid this in here. It really feels like he's just kind of shrugging his shoulders like, it is what it is. So what? That's just the entire tone of the tweets. He also did make another one more recently today after the ban and said that there were a lot of people experiencing joy at his downfall and the, ruining of his career. But I just really don't think that's the case. This is purely the consequences of a really bad decision he made. I don't see a lot of people celebrating, happy to see him go. It's more so yeah, that sounds about right for doing something so stupid and so dangerous on stream. It is sad to see that one awful decision did ruin his career, but it's one decision that I have legitimately no respect for. This isn't just some whoops-a-daisy mistake that, everybody makes. This is the most preventable accident. The easiest whoops-a-daisy to ever avoid. Just don't drink and drive. It's hard to have empathy in a situation like this when drunk drivers kill so many people every single year. And drinking and driving is such a real, huge problem. So, it is sad because I do know of this player. I do know of their career. And to see it end like this is really upsetting. But it's not it's undeserved. I don't know if it's a permanent ban forever. It might not be. It might only be a week or something. There's no telling right now. It's indefinite. But this is a crime he committed. And a very serious one at that, and one that I have been very vocal about for many years, about my absolute disdain for drinking and driving, drunk drivers, operating a vehicle while distracted. That also includes texting and driving, by the way. Anything that keeps your attention off of the road and puts you and everyone else on the road at risk is something I think is ridiculously stupid and fucked up. So yeah, anyway, that's really about it. See ya.